Welcome to the live post-race incident review, Dark Helmet Racing League, Season 3, Event 8. We're at Suzuka. Sprint looked fairly minor for incidents, and the feature had a few, but let's go get through them now. Alright, just to quickly go through this one. This is lap 1 of the sprint, and this is just stack up effect. If you look here, Sherman in the Cookie Monster car almost crashes in the back of the car in front of him, so he checks up, then turns in. That gives Kevin on the inside a run up the inside. Kevin kind of stuck there and tries to avoid it, gets up over the curb. There's some netcode contact in the middle there. This is a M versus Pro. If it was during the race, other than lap 1, I might be more concerned with Sherman leaving room, but in this case, just with everything going on in lap 1, racing incident. Alright, so for this one, at first it looks like Morgan just kind of gets into the back of Josh here, but if we go back to the exit speed and we watch the speed bottom at the bottom here, he should be accelerating out of the corner and he's decelerating, he's sliding. So he's actually decelerating coming out of a corner because he's got this slide going. You can see it right now. And Morgan gets into the back of him and spins him. This is, again, a racing incident. It sucks for Joshua here because the contact does spin him. But Morgan really was doing everything he could. If we go on board with Morgan here, you'll also see his speed is decaying. He's actually not. Is he on the brakes? Let's go watch his brake lights. So brake lights before contact. He's doing his best to try to get out of this. And it's just Josh was already in a slide. And the little contact from Morgan kind of sent him over the edge. So racing incident. Alright, so this one's interesting. Now, they exit onto the straight here, Morgan comes out, and then basically stays dead straight, and so does Mark Sherman here. You can actually see Morgan and has been fairly consistent on his line down the grid marks here, going right through the center of them. Now, when you go on board with Mark here and go on board, you can see that he does feel like he's on the edge of the track. So I can understand the gap he's leaving right now to the edge. But then this part here, Morgan's a little close to him. He comes a little closer. They have contact there. They have contact again. I contact a third time. All of this seems to be more Mark than Morgan. If you watch in relation to this white line, Morgan comes over. That one's on Morgan. Now Mark comes over. That one's on Mark. And now here, I need to watch this one closer and see if this last bit of contact here is what causes them to lose control, but I don't think it does. I think this is a conscious turn, which would mean this is intentional contact, which I don't want to see. It's way too early to turn in for the corner. But if we go to the rear here, they're just contact. The brakes is hit there, and then over. It's hard to say if this bounce resulted in the back of the car kind of getting net coated and causing the steering, but the fact that the steering goes that way, I think this is intentional contact, because if it was the steering getting kind of net coated and everything, the driver's reaction would be to turn to the left here to avoid the contact. Mark turns into the contact, might be because he didn't like how little room Morgan was giving him down the straight. But unfortunately, Morgan had given him just enough room. Morgan could have given him more room, especially between a Pro and Am driver. Maybe Morgan should have given more space. But the contact that caused these to spin like this is on Mark, and I'm going to give Mark an intentional contact for this, which is a 5-point penalty. He can appeal it. If he has evidence to say otherwise, he can talk to me. This is going to be a rejoin penalty, or failing to hold brakes penalty, actually. Failing to hold brakes is only a 1 point penalty. He should have just waited a couple of more seconds for Mark to go past. Mark did a good job avoiding him. This is hard racing going to the line. Yes, Ryan tried to make sure that he got over, left it a hair too late, and Cameron was half there, so they did make contact, but no major contact and fighting towards the line. The line's right there, so I'm going to leave this one as just a racing incident. That's all the sprint. Now onto the feature. So this kind of accident was very similar to Montreal last week, where the car on the inside makes minor contact with the car on the outside, resulting in them spinning. So Greg here on the outside, Nathan on the inside. Greg leaves the car with, they have net code contact, not even full contact, and it results in Nathan spinning. So this is no further action on my point, just a not even racing incident. This is just net code. Christian did actually, or Cameron did a very good job here, actually, for the amount of incidents that were actually happening here, and his awareness of the situation was pretty good through it all. So he gets the coming off the curb wobble, goes across, hits the outside wall, but knows that he's got Ryan in front of him here. So he kind of bounces off this wall, that, and the tire wall kicks him right back onto the track. Now he's spinning across the track. He's got his brakes held. It's ABS that's making it so that he's not stopping. And then he realizes he's rolling back across track because he's got Brandon staring at him, and he allows the car to roll back here, releases brakes, lets it roll out of the way. Does kind of impact Brandon's race, but it was actually a good heads-up moment. That's when you do need to release the brakes, is when you're in the way and you could do something to get out of the way safely. That was the right time to do that. Okay, this one, Gray does slow a little bit on exit, and Ryan drives through the back of him here. the amount that gray decelerates here isn't sufficient enough to say that Ryan had nowhere to go. Ryan could have done more to avoid the contact here, so it's going to be a 2.5 for avoidable contact resulting in spin for Ryan. Ouch! This was a big one. Alright, let's break it down. So the usual spin off the curb, hits the inside wall. Okay. So he spins off, Joshua here, hits the wall, but watch the brake lights right here. They're not on, not on, now they're on. If you have an accident like this, you gotta try to lock it down so you don't come across the track like this. This could have been avoided if he was hard on the brakes here, he knew he was crashing, lock it down here, try to keep it off the track and stop rolling it back across the track. Because if we go to cockpit here, like he's still got the wheel turned and steers it across the track. So yeah, this is going to be failure hold brakes, and yeah, I gotta figure out if it's a 1 or a 2.5, but at least a 1. So, other question in this incident is, could Gray have done more to avoid it? Gray did a lot to try to avoid that at such a high speed, to 230 kilometers an hour on entry to it. Josh is on the left side of the track. Josh comes across. He tries to avoid, realizes that he's not going the right side. At that point, he's on the grass, so you can see that he does try to go back to the left, but that's why there was such a huge contact. So Gray tried here to avoid this. It was just because Josh wasn't holding the brakes and wasn't predictable. Goes all the way to bounce back off at again and into Mark this time, which Mark is a poor bystander on this one. Nothing he could do. There's cars going every which direction. Alright, for the post-race stuff here, I know you guys like crashing into each other and stuff like that, but please, let's not do this where we make contact with each other. If you're going to take yourself out, but do not hit another driver. So, Morgan just misses Kevin, and you got Phil coming in, aiming to follow exactly in the wheel tracks, and then turns into Morgan. Guys with direct drive wheels, this can hurt. So let's not do this. Also, you clutter up my race logs as other incidents still happened on the last lap. So please do not crash into each other after the checkered flag. Because here, I have an incident before the end of the race that I have to review. These guys are just having a blast coming to the finish. None of this is deemable of a penalty. This is just two guys having fun at the end of the race. Who have had fun races already. So they're kind of roughing each other up as much as they can. But nothing really going on here. So no action. And same incident, no action. And what's happening with Christian here? This is after the checkered, yep. So the battle continued all the way to the line with them waiting for each other. They were just messing around. All's good. They have talked, by the way. I know this. This is not them being malice towards each other, just screwing around. But again, please, let's not have contact after the checkered flag for many reasons. Alright. That is all the incidents for tonight. If you guys have any questions, please reach out. Thank you very much.